Janashalakaya Chakshuvannmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I wanted to say separately about the training program for the girls and about the training program for the boys. So you will see that when we offer our programs, whatever the girls group topics Achito Keshav had sent me, I found them very good actually. Like there was one day about the Goswami's life, another day Ramayana, another day Mahabharata, and another day stories, Vaishnava stories. I feel that if we keep giving these kind of things, the children will pick up good vibrations very well over a period of time. And I don't think there is any major change in syllabus required. But what I will emphasize today is not much about the syllabus, but about the way we should teach the children, that we eventually bring out certain qualities out of them. Because the same syllabus can be taught by different teachers in different ways. So there has to be a goal in the teacher. There has to be a goal in the mind of the teacher, what the teacher wants to get out of the student. Correct, no? There is a word in English called coaching, Coaching actually means what? You listen out a person very well, and then you understand what is the goal of the person, and then you ask various solutions from the person only. You don't give solution. Make them think and come up with various solution, and ask the person for pros and cons of the various alternatives, and finally make the person make the right choice, and then commit oneself to that choice made. This is actually called coaching. So I have seen my spiritual master doing that with me several times. When I go to him with a problem, he will dig out from my heart what the problem is, and make me, actually he will help me to understand my problem myself very nicely. And he will also ask me for various alternatives, and if I am not giving the correct alternative, he will give me clues on finding out the correct alternatives, and then basically he will make me think and make me decide, and then after that he will actually make me gravitate towards the right solution by the way he speaks, and then after getting me to the right solution, he will make me commit myself to that, what I have. That's actually called coaching, we call it. So there are various styles of teaching. You all might have learned about it. One thing is to tell the children about what we want to tell them. Like I remember there was one teacher, not here in Pune, somewhere else. I saw. So he is teaching the pastime of Prahlad Narsimha. He's telling about the Prahlad going to Gurukula and the teachers teaching all these things, and he went to Prahlad, met the father, and so he is actually reading some shlokas and then narrating it from the Bhagavatam, and the children are a little bit spaced out because children many times need participation, and they have a lot of energy. Unless you ask questions, if you want to know how much energy they have, recently I went to Mukhai Gurukul. And I had one session with them. If any of you haven't seen that video, you can see yourself. It is there in my, I must have put about 3-4 videos before, I think I have put. YouTube, it is there, yeah. If you see that, you saw children how they are jumping up. There's so much energy, so much thinking, so much enthusiasm. So they have to be given that chance to think, and they have to be given the chance to express. The content of our teaching may reduce because of that. But definitely whatever thing you teach them will be sinking in their hearts if they are allowed to participate. If they're not allowed to participate, I'm going to be a teacher, I have prepared something and I'm coming and delivering it, I'm going. That children may not appreciate that style of teaching. They want to participate, they want to think also. So, and also teachers who make the children think will produce great leaders in future. Those children are going to become very powerful leaders in future because you have made them think. You have made them think about the various alternatives, possibilities, right, wrong, why not this, why not that. Of course, this kind of logic doesn't come in such a young age. It actually comes after 8th standard only. So that will be above 12. Then what do we do between 7 to 12? You don't have to test so much of logic. You have to make sure that the content you are giving is grasped by them. Like for example, like you are telling Dhruva Maharaj's story. Who is Dhruva's mother? Suniti. Who is Uttama's mother? Suruchi. So in this way, these are details of the pastime, which while narrating, if you ask, then they will be attentive. And if you don't ask, they're going to be forgetful. Correct, no? So, what do we want to get out of them through this training program? Some of them I have written here. This is based on the earlier ones made. Vision and mission was already there. I have just highlighted. If you see, we want them to develop pure habits. With respect to girls and with respect to boys, there may be some slight differences, but the habits that Srila Prabhupada has given us, the 4 regulative principles, each of them have a more elaborate explanation. For example, no meat eating means not injuring others by our harsh speech. That's one meaning. And no gambling means teaching the children that Vedic authority is very important. We should only learn and speak what the parampara teaches, and we should not bluff anything on our own. Not speculating, but learning, knowing, and repeating. That is about no gambling. And no intoxication means, devotee means we should never become proud of our skill sets, of our capabilities, of our successes, of our breakthroughs, what we have done, anything. One should not be very proud. So that is, intoxication is a false pride. Then illicit sex actually means, desiring name, fame, glory also. That means desiring that others should praise me, desiring that others should worship me, or self-importance. Too much of self-importance. Which means if you want to teach them to avoid self-importance, we have to teach them the culture of sharing, teach them the culture of caring for others, teaching them the culture of being kind, courteous, sensitive, and not be careless, and not be I me mind-centered, but always think about the welfare of others. So by that they can give up that. So in this way, each of these 4 relative principles can be ingrained in them, these aspects, like the pure habits, and the character. And character is a very big word. Character, when we say integrity, is a very important value. Integrity means it is even greater than honesty. Honesty means to say what I will do. Integrity means to do what we said. That's even more deeper quality. So it has to be inculcated from very young age. And children should be confident about the advantage of having integrity. And I have one video from the our Center for Value Education. Some few boys, one of the boys, Pavitra, and another boy is, I don't remember his name. This boy, Pavitra, is a boy of integrity and he doesn't want to copy in the exam. The other boy, your friend says that, see, since you don't want to copy, you are getting poor marks and I am copying and I am getting good marks, like he says. But later on, the drama shows how the boy who is copying goes on to copy in the final exam and he gets caught and is debarred from the school. He loses 1 year and the mother comes to meet the principal and he has to cut a sorry figure and he becomes shameful and his future becomes very bleak. And the other boy, Pavitra, who was having integrity, He is righteous. So he takes a lot of trouble to study and fare well. And then tomorrow he gets very good marks and then he gets placed well. So the drama shows like that. It's about, I think, 15-20 minutes drama, I think, like that. So Shivaji Prabhu has it, right? Is that on the website? Just put Satya, Satya. You put in my website, you put it, you will get it immediately. So it's a very nice drama, 15-20 minutes, I think, probably. So I'm just telling you about that, about the integrity, correct? No? So integrity, another aspect of character is maturity. Maturity means to not only push my opinion on others, but also be willing to tolerate others' opinions and be willing to even modify my thoughts. That is actually one aspect of maturity. It's called maturity, we call it. And also not envying other children if they flourish. Teaching them to applaud when others succeed. Not that if somebody else succeed, I didn't succeed, I become angry. So not becoming envious. So this has to be ingrained right from very, very young age. If they are taught repeatedly to learn to applaud and appreciate others' successes, just like we read in Chaitanya Leela. So these are all aspects of character. So, and character also means simplicity. It also means those four qualities: humility, respect, humility, tolerance, respect, and freedom from false prestige, and all these things come also in the character. And character also means how we deal with the things like you all know the principle of Yukta Vairagya. Yukta Vairagya means you take the things and use in Krishna's service. That's the most ideal thing to do. So opposite Yukta Vairagya is the two extremes, Bhoga Tyaga. Correct, no? Bhoga means to take for one's own enjoyment. Tyaga means not caring for anything of the world, rejecting. So how can we teach this thing to children? Like for example, many of the karmis, therefore I gave you some karmi articles also in this, the syllabus which I gave. They teach the children and they have occasion to take responsibility even for the household, things like cleaning the house, keeping the books in the right place, a place for everything and everything in its place. And also after you sleep in the night, you roll up the bedding and keep it in a corner. If you have clothes, you learn to wash your clothes. You keep your room neat and tidy. And also, so they say that if you don't teach children to be responsible for the things you give them, they get used to littering things here and there and they become very careless. Initially, they'll be responsible for the things. Then eventually, you can teach them how to use everything in Krishna service. For a bit of thing, becomes Yukta Vairagya. So, that means mishandling money, cheating money, and taking money and using it for wrong purposes. So, these things should be avoided from very young age. That's the aspect of character also. Avoiding speaking lies. You have to speak the truth. So many times as teachers, we feel that these are values important, and if we tell them you should do this is very important value, you should do it, they cannot do it. So therefore, we have all these different things which are all teaching. Correct, no? Like each of the qualities I told you till now, it is practiced by some devotee somewhere. Correct, no? You heard the story of Nabaga, Nabaga and Nabaga. Anybody knows? I can give the mic to you, you can tell. Nabaga. Who? We have wireless mic. Anybody can tell what is? Anybody knows exactly? That's a. No, this is another. This is Nabaga. Son is Nabaga. Anybody heard of Nabaga? Any of you? Yeah? Mati, you know? You know it? Please give it to her. You can switch it on, please. Yeah.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, मुझे बस थोड़ा सा पता है। नबाग और नाबाग मतलब एक पिता पुत्र है।
करेक्ट।
और 3 पुत्र होते हैं उनको। तो एक जो बड़े वाले 2 होते हैं, तो अपने पिताजी को
माइक वॉल्यूम को बढ़ा देना। वॉल्यूम किधर है? किधर वॉल्यूम?
तो जो बड़े वाले 2 बेटे होते हैं उनको छोड़ देते हैं, जो पिता को अपनाते नहीं है। और फिर जो छोटा होता है नाबाग शायद।
नाबागा।
हाँ, तो फिर वो जो आते तो अपने पिताजी को अपने साथ लेके जाते हैं और फिर मतलब बहुत गरीब होते हैं वो और फिर मतलब कुछ भी नहीं उनके पास धन, तो उनको लेकर अपने पिताजी को अपने साथ लेके जाते हैं।
ठीक है।
और फिर
एक्चुअली पिताजी को
बहुत
कैसे
सेवा
उन्होंने
करते
लेके
हैं।
गया, उनके 3-4 भाई थे,
हाँ,
वो लोग सब प्रॉपर्टी को डिवाइड कर लिया आपस में, क्योंकि नाबाग ब्रह्मचर्य आश्रम में था बहुत सालों के लिए। बहुत लंबे साल आश्रम में समय बिताने के बाद घर वापस लौट आया, तो भाइयों ने बोला देखो भैया, हम लोगों ने प्रॉपर्टी डिवाइड कर लिया आपस में, अभी तुमको देने के लिए हमारे पास एक ही चीज है जो हमारे पिताजी हैं, हम पिताजी को तुम्हारे शेयर, योर शेयर गिविंग। तो इतने मासूम थे। अब पिताजी के पास जाकर बोले कि पिताजी मैं बड़ा भाग्यशाली हूँ, इन ये दे हैव गिवन मी यू एज माई शेयर, ऐसा बोला, आपको ही मेरे उसको क्या बोलते हैं भाग, मेरे भाग के रूप में दिया है उन्होंने। तो पिताजी हंस पड़े, बोले कि अरे बेटे तुमको उल्लू बनाया लोगों ने, हैं? मैं तो बुढ़ा आदमी हूँ, मुझे लेकर तुम क्या करोगे? इनको जमीन देना था, गाय देना था, धन दौलत देना था, सोना चांदी देना था, कुछ नहीं दिया तुमको ये लोगों ने। फिर भी चिंता मत करो, पिताजी ने बोला। आगे क्या हुआ माता बताइए। वॉल्यूम क्यों साउंड नहीं आता है?
पिताजी के साथ उनको लेके जाते हैं और उनकी सेवा अच्छे से करते हैं।
ठीक है।
और फिर उनके पिताजी उनको बोलते हैं कि अभी जो एक कुछ ब्राह्मण है उनको स्वर्ग में जाना है, तो वो कुछ वे श्लोक बोल रहे हैं, वो गलत बोल रहे हैं, तो आप जाओ और उनकी जो गलती हो रही है
एक्चुअली वो 6 दिन का कुछ यज्ञ कर रहे थे स्वर्ग जाने के लिए, तो 6ठा दिन वो लोग पूर्णाहुति की मंत्र उनको मालूम नहीं है, तो मैं तुमको दे दूंगा, तुम उनको जाकर वो मंत्र दे दो, तो वो लोग तुमसे तृप्त होकर यज्ञ के फल को तुमको देंगे, ऐसे बोलना करेक्ट। उसके बाद क्या हुआ?
फिर वो जाते हैं वहां पे, तो करेक्ट करते हैं उनका जो मंत्र है, और फिर वो जाते श्लोक स्वर्ग जाते हैं जो ब्राह्मण होते हैं, और जाते जाते जो यज्ञ में बहुत सारा धन रहता है वो वहीं पे छोड़ जाते हैं। तो फिर वो ब्राह्मण बोलते कि ये सारा धन अभी हमारे कुछ यूज में नहीं है, आप रख
ले सकते हैं। करेक्ट।
फिर वो लेके
वो चले जाते हैं।
फिर वो अपना लेते हैं, तब भी एक वहां पे मतलब एक भयानक ऐसे एक महापुरुष आते हैं और बोलते कि ये सारा जो धन है वो मेरा है।
करेक्ट।
तो फिर वो बोलते कि नहीं ये सब मुझे दिया है। तो वो जो महापुरुष आते वहां पे बोलते अपने पिताजी से पूछ के आओ कि ये किसका धन है।
करेक्ट।
तो फिर वो बोलते अपने पिताजी के पास जाते हैं और वहां पे जाके वो पिताजी बोलते नहीं ये धन आपका नहीं, जो आए हैं महापुरुष उनका ही है, क्योंकि वो शिव जी है। और जो यज्ञ का सारा जो बाकी रहता है वो शिव जी का ही होता है। तो फिर वो बोलते कि ठीक है आप ले जाइए, लेकिन वो जो उनको तो कुछ जरूरत नहीं, उनकी परीक्षा लेने के लिए वहां पे आए थे। फिर वो बोलते हैं कि आप लोग ये सारा धन तो मैं आपको ही देता हूँ, लेकिन मैं आपको इससे भी ज्यादा धर्म का ज्ञान देता हूँ, जो तो वहाँ पे वो ज्ञान भी देते और वो सारा धन भी देते।
तो इसमें नाबाग का क्या महान चरित्र है, आपने समझा, आपने सही बोला, कथा सही बोला आपने, एग्जैक्टली माता जी ने सही कथा बोल दिया भागवत से। अभी इसमें नाबाग की प्रशंसा क्यों कोई कर सकता है, आप बता सकते हैं? उनके पास क्या ऐसा योग्यता है जिसके कारण उनकी प्रशंसा हुई है?
उन्होंने सेवा की है।
किसकी सेवा? पिताजी की सेवा की।
पिताजी की सेवा।
करेक्ट। और कोई? नॉट ग्रीडी बोलती है माता, राइट? वो लोभी नहीं है, सरल है, ठीक है। और
he accepted authority of his good father, उन्होंने बोला कि
पिताजी की अधिकार को उन्होंने स्वीकारा। he accepted the authority of the father. Okay, anybody else? Simplicity बोलते हैं। But in simplicity in what? उनको देना, we can hear him. Simplicity in what?
Means he is simple in terms of whatever is coming his way, he is accepting it as Lord's
arrangement.
wish. Yeah.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Correct. That's such a good point. देखिए, okay, I'll tell you. All of you understand English, no? You understand English also, no? आपको समझ आ जाता है ना? ठीक है। See, Nabaga was so innocent that when his brothers told him, "We are giving father as your share," he accepted it because he thought father is very respectable, valuable. So I'm getting seva to my father. So he was very happy. Then after father told him that they have cheated you, my son, but I will help you to get wealth, because without wealth, how will you run the grihastha ashram? You need wealth. So then he told him, 6th day from today, the Brahmanas will do yajna, and after the yajna, they will have the dakshina and they'll go away. Whatever is remaining, that's for you, he said. So he collected all that in a big cloth and bound it together to take it. That time Shiva came. When Shiva told him, this you cannot touch, it belongs to me. The last, whatever bag is left behind. At that time, you know what he told him? He told Shiva that my father had told me to take this, therefore I came to take this. You please kindly wait here, I will check with my father and come, he said. So he went to meet his father and said, Father, that Lord Shiva is saying that it belongs to him. And father also nodded there and said, yes, it belongs to Shiva only. At that time, Nabaga did not become angry. Because if we were in that place, what we will say, hey, you only told me to wait 5 days. 6th day you told me to take it. Earlier you told me to take it. Now you are saying give it to Shiva. That means you are not proper. No. What happened to you? I think you have become old. You have no good sense. Like that we will say or not? He didn't say that. He immediately went to that place and offered obeisances to Shiva and said, all this wealth belongs to you. My father has told me. Please take it and go. Like that he said. At that time Shiva smiled and said, Nabaga, you are a man of high integrity. Because of that I am pleased with you. I am giving back this wealth to you. Whatever I am supposed to take, I am giving it to you. And then Nabaga accepted. Because Shiva has given, he accepted. Then Shiva told him, sit down. I will also give you spiritual knowledge. So although your brothers cheated and got material wealth, they got only material wealth. Whereas I am giving material wealth plus spiritual wealth also. I am giving you spiritual knowledge, transcendental knowledge, like Lord Shiva gave to Prachetas. Like that he gave to him also, transcendental knowledge. And that Nabaga's son became Ambarish Maharaj, the great Ambarisha. So here is an example of integrity and truthfulness. It is really very great quality. Actually, integrity includes honesty and truthfulness and beyond also. So it's one aspect of character, not telling lies. Why I am telling you this? Tomorrow when children grow, to our age, say you become 30, 40, 50, at that time, there are not so many people above you to watch you, what you do. Like there were 2 shops, bakery shops. In one shop was a devotee, another shop was a non-devotee. The non-devotee bakery shop, any kind of fungus comes on the bread, he would just take a brush and remove it and sell it. And he got 1 lakh per month. And the other bakery shop, any fungus comes, he will immediately throw it in dustbin. He only got 20,000 per month. So everybody told him, see, you are a devotee, people are cheating you, you're getting 20, he's getting 1 lakh. And it went on for a year. But a lot of people eating the fungus bread started getting, food poisoning. Food poisoning. Then those people started complaining, saying that, hey, in your shop, what are you selling? Many of us are falling sick. Slowly customers stopped buying from him and went to the other shop, knowing that this is a devotee of Krishna, is a man of integrity. So they went there. So now he started getting 1 lakh and his business went down below 5,000 for a period of time. So this is a story for integrity. Devotee was having integrity, non-devotee had no integrity, isn't it? So these kind of things the children have to learn, that, if you are truthful, Krishna is watching, and even though nobody is watching, who is watching? Krishna is watching. So I should be truthful, I should be honest, and I should keep my promise. There are many people who make promises and break promises because they have no integrity. Because they become greedy. Like that story of Sakshi Gopal. The old man made a promise to the young man that I'll give my daughter in marriage to you. But then the old man's son was atheist. Correct, no? So because the old man, due to the family pressure, he could not give the daughter in marriage to that other Brahman. So he could not keep his word. But he was a devotee, he was weak-minded. He was not cunning or diplomatic. Son was cunning and diplomatic. But the old man was weak-minded. He was driven by the son and wife and all, who said, we'll commit suicide if you give our daughter in marriage to that poor Brahman and all that. So anyway, the Lord came to give Sakshi and then establish the fact. But our children have to learn the aspect of integrity. Otherwise, tomorrow when they grow, lack of integrity in companies, if somebody is found to be telling lies or releasing secrets, they are immediately laid off nowadays. Correct, no? So integrity, maturity, non-envy, respect, humility, trust, and all these things come in character. So, anyway, to offer happy Krishna conscious experience and engage to children, to offer the basic Krishna conscious philosophy and chanting. Yeah, one important thing, when we are teaching Ramayana, Mahabharata, my humble request to all the teachers would be, you all have seen our Prabhupada's books have one flavor, we can say, like vanilla flavor we have. We have this, what do you call this? Is it kulfi, you call it? Kulfi? Kulfi has multiple flavors, you know that? Similar ice creams have multiple flavor. Prabhupada's books have certain words used. For Krishna, he uses the word Supreme Personality of Godhead. And also Jivas are his Krishna servants. But sometimes I find that when you go to Ramayana, Mahabharata and other literature, this flavor which Prabhupada is giving through his books is not found there. How many of you found it, what I am saying? You found or you didn't find it? When you read Ramayana, Mahabharata and all, you find that the emphasis on the philosophy of Krishna consciousness is not much available in those books unless you as a devotee can pull out from that. That's where your hand comes. That's the reason I was telling you. Today I am not going to tell you anything new. But what I am telling you is, if you are simply going to teach some Ramayana stories, Mahabharata stories, they will know the stories, but they will not know what to make out of it. What to make out of it. For example, I will ask you some questions, let us see how do you answer. Say, now Bharat Mila pastime, correct, no? You know Bharat Mila pastime. Give the mic. What highlight point you took from that pastime? Which will you tell the children? Bharat Mila, Bharata and Rama meeting. You can have one answer here, one answer there. One more mic you can give them. Give. One mic you can keep it here. Any of you. From the Bharat Mila pastime, one lesson from here, one lesson this side.
Hare Krishna. So in that pastime, we can see how the respect, the love from Bharata to Rama. And then initially Lakshmana was having misunderstanding that Bharata has come here to conquer. But when he saw Bharata was very submissive, he surrendered to Rama, he showed his love, affection. So he understood, Bharata is having true intention, genuine.
Okay. So 2 lessons you have said. Let us take one from this side, Mataji side. You have any, what is the most highlight important point from Bharat Mila pastime? Yeah.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी वी कैन सी दैट सब मतलब भरत के खिलाफ थे मतलब प्रूफ एवरीथिंग कैन एनीवन कैन से दैट भरत इज कल्प्रिट देयर बट रामा ट्रस्टेड लाइक नो वो ऐसा नहीं है और भरत आल्सो हैज सरेंडर he has so much surrender for Lord Ram.
Yeah, so Bharata was surrendered and Rama trusted him. Unlike the other people like Lakshman didn't trust him. Even Bharadwaja didn't trust him. Many others also challenged him with many questions. They thought that he is evil-minded, but Rama trusted him. Okay, that's your point, yeah. Okay, any other point? This side?
Integrity.
What is the integrity of Bharata?
Though he got a chance to be seated on a throne, he did not accept it.
Correct.
He given that,
Correct.
means that authority to Ram only. He kept it aside for Ram only.
Yeah. And it is coming voluntarily to him. Yeah. His mother has made arrangement, but he is not accepting. He is not becoming Rajyasukha Lobh, we say, no? He didn't have the Rajyasukha Lobh. This is very difficult for most people because they will say that I didn't hanker for it, but it is coming my way, what can I do? Because it is coming on its own, I accept it. But some people say, like in Tamil Nadu, they had one magazine where they started publishing the boys' names who will not take dowry. Initially it was 1 page. Eventually it started becoming 6 pages in the magazine, 5-6 pages. A lot of people started sending names that I will not take dowry. Later on, one Mataji complained that I found a person's name and contact from this. Because they used to give their name and phone number also. So she said, when I found out that fellow, that family is demanding too much dowry from us, I thought she wrote to the magazine. And the magazine people felt ashamed because we are publishing the names. Now people should not take a vow and not follow it. So they asked the man, why are you guys taking this thing? The man said, no, I am not taking, my parents are taking from them. What a shameful thing it is. So later on that column only was stopped in the magazine. They didn't keep it anymore. So you will see that Bharat could have said that, see Ram, you are my brother, I have respect for you. What to do? My mother wants me. You see, Mother wants me to sit on throne. How can I displease my superior? He didn't say like that. He was so angry with his mother. So the man of very high integrity. That's good. Anything else? Mataji said, any other lesson you learned from Bharat Milap past time? If they don't have, we will take from your side. We will see one lesson from that side. Anybody else?
So,
Yeah.
from Lord Ram's side also, his integrity to words of his father.
Correct.
Yeah,
Pitru Vachan.
Pitruvachan, yeah. So he
never
gave that
broke.
respect and
Correct.
he did not budge from whatever
Yeah.
promise his father made, and he took up that.
Correct. That's very important.
And he could have gone ahead now. My father is gone now. So many have coming, and Bharat is willing to give me.
Correct.
So let us go. And there was a good long discussion between them. Why?
And that's what demigods feared.
Yeah.
Demigods are watching from the sky. Bharat was telling Ram that 3 widowed mothers have come, and along with Vasishta also. Vasishta is your guru, and 3 respectable mothers have come. Kaikeyi is also telling you to come back and take the throne. She is the one who wanted you to go to forest. Now she is also welcoming you. And what other reservation you have, you tell us. All Ayodhavasis are weeping for you, and I am welcoming you. I am supposed to be the king according to my mother. I am welcoming you. So at that time, Ram was keeping silent, and Devatas became afraid. Maybe Ram is considering, भैया तुम प्रेम से बुला रहे हो, माता बुला रही है. वशिष्ठ गुरु जी ही बोल दिया, अभी क्या किया जाए? ठीक है, आप लोगों को खुश करने के लिए मैं राजा बन जाता हूँ. Like that, if he says and he goes back and becomes a king, Devatas thought that who will kill? Ravana. That was their fear. So as Akashvani, they shouted, Bharat, you should follow the order of your brother. Like that they said. Your brother is asking you to go back and rule, you should follow that. That will bring auspicience for everyone. Especially auspicience for the Devatas. Because they thought when Asura is finished, they will be peaceful. So they said like that. So the most important lesson in the Bharat Mela pastime is taught in the climax of the pastime. What is it? Although Bharat gave all the reasons why Ram should come back. Ram said that, Bharat also told Ram, if you won't come back, I will commit suicide. He said, I will sit facing north and I will not drink water, I will not eat food and I will die. At that time Ram told him, dying is not a very great thing. Anybody can do. But to follow the instruction of a superior is more greater than even giving your life, he said. So, if you really love me, Bharat, then you should do what I am telling you, he said. Then Bharat agreed to take Ram's Paduka and go back. So, this is the main lesson in that Bharat Milap, that if you really say you love Guru, you have to follow his instruction. If you say you love Prabhupada, you should read his books and follow his instruction. If you say you love Krishna, then you should not act in ways that will displease Krishna. So this is the main lesson there. So the reason I asked all of you, every teacher is also having different types of upbringing in our families, by our teachers, every Mataji, Prabhuji, all of us. So we may not always bring out the vital lessons that we are supposed to bring out in each Leela. Some teachers just narrate the stories. So then the children also catch only the stories. They may not take any very important lesson. Of course, these children are smaller children, 7 to 12. You cannot derive lessons which are too logical and too advanced. They can't catch also. At the same time, you should not leave them without any lessons. You should teach them lessons which they can understand, that much. You can narrate the pastimes and also teach them some valuable lessons that they can understand in their level. While teaching only, you come to know how much are they catching. If they are finding it too difficult, then you make it more elementary. So, to offer scriptural wisdom, to lay a foundation and understanding of the basic Krishna conscious philosophy. That means, our teaching of Ramayana, His Holiness Bhaktichar Maharaj gave one lecture called, Learning Ramayana to Become Krishna Conscious. He gave one lecture. He said, becoming Rama conscious to become Krishna conscious. That was the lecture he gave. So what he said was, Rama teaches you ideal lifestyle. And that can make devotees very good Krishna conscious devotees. So which means you should emphasize ISKCON's Krishna conscious values while teaching Ramayana, Mahabharata, or any other literature. But what happens in our training program, many of us come from varied backgrounds. Things which are of our interest, we may insert into our teachings also. You understand now? It's pretty likely. Everybody may teach differently. We all have different teaching styles. I won't say you teach the way I teach, because I'm not a great authority. But we should teach the way that Srila Prabhupada has written his books. He has given his lectures. He has made this movement. Those mainstream values that Prabhupada has emphasized, what you call as M+M, mood and mission. In the Bhakti Shastri, we say that. For example, can some of you give me some examples of mood and mission that Prabhupada emphasizes in his books? Let us take 4 we will take. 2 from Mataji's, 2 from Prabhuji's. What are some of the mood and mission that Prabhupada emphasizes in his books? There are hundreds and thousands of mood and mission, but just we will take a couple of them from each side. Yeah. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Actually, its main mission was to have made everybody Krishna conscious and have a Krishna prem, actually, because in many discussion where when they were talking to the non-devotees, like reporters or anybody, they were saying any religion is having a Krishna prem, is Krishna, or they should be able to love God. So ultimately for us is a Krishna consciousness.
So one mode that Prabhupada taught us is, don't go to God to ask for material benefits. You should go to God simply to love and serve Him. Thank you. That's one mode. Yeah. Thank you. Any one more? Maji, you take the mic here. Yes, the mic. You can.
Cooperation amongst devotees is more important.
Correct. That's also one of the things Prabhupada emphasizes a lot. If you want to show your love for me, cooperate with one another to keep the mission together. Thank you. One more we will take from this.
Spreading congregation chanting as much as possible.
Spreading that Prithivate Acharya Nagaradigram, spreading everywhere. Thank you. One more this side. Is the mic on? Yeah, now the sound's coming. Why it's not getting on? Is it on?
Hariwala. First main things, we should have to keep our sadhana very strong.
Okay.
This one is.
So Prabhupada emphasizing on sadhana, which means Prabhupada says the morning program.
Yeah, morning.
Rising in the morning, chanting the holy name, and then Srimad Bhagavatam hearing. Yes, many places you will find Prabhupada repeatedly emphasizing this, because he says that this is like foundation of spiritual life. If you don't do this, then rest other things are all less important. It's most important. He says. Thank you. One more this side. Anybody? Yes.
Prabhupada actually, his age, he started becoming old, but he also increased his activities. Means he did not become slack in his services.
Correct.
So he showed by his example that Krishna consciousness in any age can be kept active. And
yes, it is true that he said we should be active, but one most important mood and mission of Prabhupada is, our movement is not a movement where you study shastras and be a good scholar and sit inside the 4 walls and be happy and satisfied. Rather, our movement is a movement where Prabhupada wanted us to get out of our houses, Prati gare gare giya koro ye bhiksha, bolo Krishna, bhajo Krishna, karo Krishna, which means go door to door. Our movement is called door to door movement, which means wake up the sleeping people, give them Bhagavad Gita, give them prasad, give them the holy name. You should instill this in the children even from this age. You should tell them that we should, when we grow up, we should reach the books to people, reach the prasadam to people, reach the holy name to people. If you instill it, it will come in future. I will just show you one small video. You can see this. See, this mother of this child, she was singing Damodarashtakam regularly, during the pregnancy of this child, when the child was in the womb. Now we will see this child. I don't know, it's a few months old child. Just see this child, how he will respond now. You will see.
Namamishwaram Sachidananda.
रूपम लसत कुंडलम गोकुले भ्राज मानम यशोदा भियोलुख लाब्दा वमानम परमृष्ट मत्यंत तो द्रुते गोप्या रुदंतमो हुर्नेत्र युग्मम भजंता करम भोज युग्मेन शातंक नीतम मुहुश्वास कंपात्रि रेखांक कंठम स्थितग्रव दामोदरम भक्ति पद्धम इति दृक्स्वलीलाभिर आनंद कुंडे स्वघोषम निमज्जन्त माख्या पयंतम तदेयेषु तग्नेषु भक्त जितत्वम जितत्वम होता है, जित्यम नहीं होता है. पुनः प्रेम तस्तम शतावृत.
Amazing, na? So actually why I showed you this, because children are trainable. If you train them, they will remember. Actually, if you are going to tell them that ours is a preaching moment, when they grow up, they will preach. If you teach them you have to become a scholar, they'll become scholar. So you only mold them, just like you take the mud, and then you make a pot out of it, or you make a plate out of it. Ultimately, you mold them. So one of the modern mission of Prabhupada is that we are what moment? Preaching moment. We should not become complacent, satisfied. And Prabhupada wanted even families to go out and put book tables, distribute books, go to colonies and preach to people. And Prabhupada repeatedly says about Prahalad, he says about Haridas Thakur, he tells about Ramanujacharya. He himself, like he said, he went abroad in the old age and he struggled to reach the message. That's one of his mood actually. And he is deadly against Bhajananandis. So when they're sitting and doing one's own bhajan, he's not for it. But in our society now, we are a 50-year-old movement now. So because of that, some people have forgotten that mood of Prabhupada. Like people are asking, where are Hare Krishnas? Because we are not so visibly seen in many places, because we don't do Harinam outside, we don't put book table outside. So this is one of the moods. So what I was telling was, in the course of your teaching, some of these moods, like for example, some teachers may overly emphasize on detachment. Actually, our movement is not a movement of detachment. It's our movement is a movement of Yukta Vairagya, using everything in Krishna's service. Like if you teach the children, you have to develop Vairagya, you have to give up this, give up that. But if you don't teach them, everything belongs to Krishna, everything should be used in Krishna's service. That should be emphasized more, Yukta Vairagya principle. So, in this way, if you are, how many of you already have finished your Bhakti Shastri here? How many of you have finished already? Bhakti Shastri is over. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then Mata 6, 7. 7 have finished. And how many of you are currently doing Bhakti Shastri? You're undergoing now. We have 1, they're undergoing 1, 2 of them, yeah. How many of you are thinking that now you should join Bhakti Shastri in future? You have a plan. You want to join. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So for teachers, it is very helpful to go through Bhakti Shastri. That's why you learn these 12 items of, beginning with knowledge, understanding, realization, personal application, preaching application, theological application, mood and mission, faith and conviction, Shastra Chakshus, and responsibility for learning, all these things, authority, 12 items totally. So there you learn what Prabhupada exactly wants us to do. So if you become a Bhakti Shastri, it's very helpful for all of you. Our BVRV has come, you all know. You can register. They have 50 courses going on now. You can connect with any of the courses. I know that some of you may be worried about writing tests and all that, but we have some slow sailing courses also, which go pretty slowly. You can take 3-4 years to complete. So my request to you, you join that and learn the mood and mission very nicely. So that's how the basic Krishna consciousness philosophy should be instilled. And also, because these children are budding children, we can teach them any practical activity, like, how you bow down to Lord, how you do arati. Some of the things can be practically shown for them. Your syllabus should include those things also. See here, mission, training them in forming good habits and lifestyle that are conducive for practicing lifelong Krishna consciousness, like regularity, sadhana, bhakti, all those things. And then skills also, they can be taught. And then holistic development of body, mind, soul. So then we have made for the boys similar things. See, the quality education means vichar, vyavahar, vyavastha, which means proper educational philosophy or thought. Therefore, Gaurara Achar, Gaurara Vichar, we say. Gaurara Vichar means Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophical teachings. And Achar is actually Vyavahar. So, and then you have shown many things, Swadhyaya, Shravana, Sadhana, Sadachar. These are all things which have to be inbuilt in the training. Like we don't want to teach them stories and send them without making sure they also learn to chant at least something. 1 round, 2 round, 3 round, something. They also learn to bow down before deity, worship deity, celebrate festivals for the deity. So those things should be included also. So this I got from the many of the karmis, what they are emphasizing on. See, honesty, good manners, healthy food selections, respect. To lose gracefully means what? To lose gracefully means if a child is failing in some exam and the child's friend has passed, the child should be able to relate with the friend that, see, this time I got fail marks. Please next time you help me. I want to study and pass it or something like that. Rather than become angry or envious of the friend. To lose gracefully means sometimes you may lose things in this world unwantingly. But the child should neither become extremely angry with oneself or should not become envious of others. And okay, and then time management, responsibility. Okay. Similarly, the 10 life skills parents want to teach their children. You see here, basic cooking, good hygiene, especially those who are girl children. The girls need several values as they grow in age. Actually, according to Srila Prabhupada expected that the girls should be fond of kitchen, cooking, cutting sabji, cleaning, washing, making the home a beautiful place, and making the husband happy, children happy, in-laws happy. And she is like the homemaker, as we say. So those are things generally given training either by a teacher or by a mother. So that type of, and also the girl children can easily, by Krishna's creation, their bodies are made in such a way that they can very easily learn embroidery, or they can learn, jewelry making or art. Those kind of things are natural for them. Gardening, making a flower, offering to Krishna, and making the altar beautiful, and making a garland for the Lord and worshipping Him. So these are things which should be emphasized over a period of time for those who are girls. Similarly, the boys in the growing age, as I told you, the boys tend to be little more philosophical minded, more than activities. So the boys like discussions. They like thinking, answering, responding, identifying, spotting out. So you will find and our children, I found, if you say that a boy is 10 years, he's like 15 years outside. They grow very fast in their sharp intelligence because they are in devotee community. They have already heard a lot. So, therefore, Krishna conscious values should be instilled in them. That's the point. See, being respectful, being thankful and grateful, honesty, learning from our mistakes and not repeating the mistakes, not judging others, admitting mistakes. So, actually, in this way, these are all things which all over the world they are saying. Many parents want to see their children learning. So, each of it is elaborated. See, this is actually important. Honesty, good manners. Like good manners, for example, if you are teaching, say you see Sarmishta Devyani, they are showing bad manners. Correct, no? And Garuda versus Saubhari Muni, Garuda is showing good manners. Duryodhana and Pandavas, if you see Duryodhana, Draupadi is like his younger sister and he is disturbing her in the public. And Yudhishthira is his elder. He is envying him. He is angry with him. And Bhima, he wants to destroy him. So this is his mentality. Look at Yudhishthira Maharaj. Duryodhana is, younger to him. He treats him like a younger brother. Dhritarashtra is elder to him. He treats him with respect. So in this way, these are kind of manners. The healthy food selections. So healthy food selections, what do you think will come? One thing is, of course, they have to eat prasad, that everybody knows. But what else comes in healthy food substitutes? What are the things that children like to eat, but what as parents you would want them to eat? And how will you strike a balance? Who can say? You understand my question? Yeah. Anybody? We can take. Yeah. Yeah. He's saying, although junk food is prasad, he's saying still it is not healthy for the body. Correct, no? It's very bad. So similarly, ice cream, children are very fond of ice cream. They want to eat one, and then second one, and third one, and fourth one. They want to eat more and more. Or they want to eat cocoa chocolates. Correct, no? You see that. Actually, first of all, you should be convinced as parents. If you are yourself not able to control, you are like a junk food eating man cannot tell his son, you don't eat junk food. Can he? You can't do that. So, actually, from material point of view, spiritual point of view, both points of view, if you see, these foods are not very healthy. They say even the cookies and the bread and all, no, they are all coming in Tamaguna actually. Why? Because it is kept for many days. You can even see when it is sold also, it is kept in the showcase for 2 weeks sometimes. Correct, no? Yeah. Actually, prasada means it should be freshly cooked, offered to Lord and immediately consumed when it is hot. So it's supposed to be like that. So, these are all available. Nowadays, whole world is conscious about conscious eating and food selections. Not that you get a heavy obesity and then go to doctor for, dietitian after that, isn't it? Similarly, this is a very big topic, respect. This is one of the most vital topics. Our His Grace Burijan Prabhu, when he came to Pune, I was telling the most important training in Gurukula for children is obedience, he said. And, when you have respect, that leads to obedience. So, respect for authority, respect for, juniors, equals, seniors, everybody. Actually, in your pastimes that you narrate, these things will come naturally. You only, thanks to our Shubhavilas Prabhu, who has already brought out many lessons he has given. I don't know, many of you have seen one book by Gauranga Darshan Prabhu called as Bhakti Viveka, Bhagavat Viveka. There's a book, Bhagavat Viveka. Currently I am teaching it to the brahmacharis. Such a beautiful book it is. He has taken the Bhagavatam pastimes and teaching many behavioral, aspects. He's teaching from that. So, feeling empathy for others and feeling sense worth for oneself. Cleanliness, obedience, self-control, kindness, determination, see. So in this way, you can go through this leisurely at your own convenience. See, there are 36 healthy habits are given. Actually, in our BMS, they are doing many of these things. They are doing because they keep the children active. They are doing many things also. They are teaching. Their children are learning. But in your classes, the syllabus should be made in such a way that these kind of things we emphasize. Nowadays, many children, father is eating and the child is playing on video games. Other child has gone out. But actually, the family eating together is such a valuable thing. When they later on, when the father wants to plant some good instructions, the children will be willing to listen if they have received some Shakti from that emotional association which comes during eating together. Correct, no? Yeah. Because then their willingness to hear, therefore the bond gets stronger and the children get comfortable to adjust with the family. And children develop good habits. This I already told you. Being responsible with money, sharing. Actually, how will the children share? It has to be, this value has to be actually taught. Therefore, like Mother Yashoda is teaching Krishna that on your birthday you should give cows to the Brahmins. Charity to the sick and needy and poor. So when the children are taught that, you cook some prasad and take the children out, ask them to give it to the beggars or anybody. That's how it's cultivated. So I had gathered these things and said, because as teachers you can read. One another interesting thing Okay, table manners, all these things. This is another very important thing. Sleeping on time. Then they can sleep early, and in our Gurukula in Mukai, they sleep at about 8 and they get up at about 4. How many hours? Early? 8 hours, yeah. 8 hours the children sleep, yeah. So you put your children to sleep early and sleep along with them, he says. Having you close will make your children feel secure and have a sound sleep. Go to sleep daily at the same time. This will help us set the pattern for the children, and they will learn to sleep on their own. Avoid letting your kids sleep for more than the required time at a stretch. If needed, the children can have a short nap during the afternoon. Because if they sleep in the afternoon for long hours, night they won't get sleep. They'll be awake till 11 or 12. Yeah? So, actually, this is a very good habit because it gives you some extra leverage in the early morning next day if you sleep early. This is another very important topic, accepting failures gracefully without becoming, broken down or shattered or envious or anything. So you can see these things. And this is very good. The 19 things you should never say to kids. I liked it very much. If you go through this, you will understand. They're very good. Each of it is given an explanation also. Huh? So many of us may face challenges when dealing with children is teaching very nice things. So you can see at your leisure. So, Her Grace Hemangop Mataji, when she and Radhika Mataji were making some children books in those days. So she was telling that she wanted to get all the teachers and have a program for the teachers, how they will train the Bhakta Prahlad school teachers. Bhakta Prahlad school children. So her point was same, that the lesson should be taught in an integrated approach, we call it, which means the Shubhavilas, what is doing is very similar. You are telling the story, then bringing some lessons, telling a story. Then children get used to this style. They know that, I'm not supposed to just learn the story. I'm supposed to learn something to do in my life. We call it as a, what do you call it? Call for action. We call it call for action. Without call for action, learning all these stories is a very good entertainment. It's like Mandanam Lokaranjanam only it is. Because personal application and teaching application to the world is a very important thing. First of all, we struggle hard to put it in our life. And once we have lived it, then we can confidently teach to others also. So this can be just like you saw the mother has taught this child in the womb. Therefore, I showed you. Huh? So we can also teach them. Now these children are not in the womb; they are grown up at least 7 to 12. Huh? They're outside. Even now, it's not too late. We can inbuild the good values. Okay, anybody would like to say anything? Give the mic to the devotees. Whatever syllabus topics you are all teaching are very good actually. Yeah? Only I wanted to see that every one of you is a Bhakti Shastri holder. And after that, you should do TTC1, TTC2 also. And if possible, even BSTTC, Bhakti Shastri TTC. Then you can be a Bhakti Shastri teacher also. There also. The more you evolve in your own study of Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhava, Bhakti Vedanta and all, I'm very confident that is going to help you become a better teacher in this service also. It's going to help you, surely. There's no doubt. Yeah. Because those 12 values, Shwajbu, that is also there, the 12 aims of Shastric study. It's there in the, what do you put? 12 aims you put? That's the aim of Shastric study. Okay. If you put aim, Shastric study, you may probably get it in this thing itself. Here only. Let us see what. No, you're not getting it. Aim off you have to put. Why it is so, this thing? No, it's not coming. Okay, we'll put only Shastri. This is the one. See, how do we grow from bookish knowledge to Shastric study? So you just click in. Where is it? Here it is there. How do we grow from bookish knowledge to Shastra Chakshus? So if you go here, you will get this. This is PPT. PPT is also available. And then where is the lecture? Up it will be there. Okay. Anyway, there it is PPT there. You can see the PPT. It's very good. It is very good. And that elaborately explains about the 12 aims of Shastra study. You can read it at your leisure. All of you. Anybody like to say anything? Take the mic. Yeah.
Prabhuji, I was discussing with one, not connected with ISKCON, but one person who is good in, who is elderly person and done good lot of study in education and all. So he was saying a very good point that in modern education, there is so much value, there is so much emphasis on value education. They say this value, that value, so many values there, and the list goes on and gone. But in our Vedic way of teaching, when we teach Mahabharata, when we teach Ramayana, that itself, those stories itself, imbibe so many values in children automatically. You Correct. Don't have to emphasize separately.
But if you don't emphasize the value,
I mean to say, of course, I'm just completely. Of course, your point is absolutely right. We should emphasize.
Today, my main talk is all about that only today, from beginning to end. Actually, nowadays, children, even as they grow, they don't take the Ramayana, Mahabharata and all seriously. I'm going to college, many of them are practically faithless. They have no faith because they think now we have got so much advancement in science and technology. If faith only is not there, how are you going to take it very seriously? Of course, these are devotee children. They are not faithless. They have some faith. So, and also, like I asked all of you a question about Bharat Milap. You saw that different devotees brought out different lessons from that. Why is it so? If it is implicitly understood by all of you, everybody should be able to say all the lessons. Correct, no? Imagine if I ask one of you, say 10 lessons from Bharat Milap. Can you say that? Why? Because we have not exercised our head. Yeah, we have not thought about, actually books like this Bhagavata Vivek, which Gauranga Darshan was brought, I told you, or our Shubha Vilas Prabhu's Ramayana. These books actually direct your thinking. They make you think more deeply about one section of a pastime. And actually, Shubha Vilas Prabhu, many books are like that. If you see, even there is one book called Open-Eyed Meditations. There's another book. He has made this book. Chaitanya Prabhu also, if you see. He actually, Chaitanya Prabhu, he does Big Gita daily. You read that Gita daily, you will expand your, frontiers of understanding of Gita. Now, if somebody says, in South India, people are simply memorizing shlokas. There are people who know all the 700 shlokas. But I don't see any change of heart in them. They make the children, some Mataji, Prabhuji brings, Prabhuji, my child can recite the whole 9th chapter, or whole 12th chapter, or whole 15th chapter. So then you find, and you will find them, then they will say that now my child is going to America, that's all. And then after that, the Bhagavad Gita shlokas are forgotten. And in America, he is eating outside. And many of these Brahmana boys are keeping 1 full week, they are eating, fridge food. Just taking out and, heating it in the microwave oven and eating. They are not even cooking themselves. So the cultural aspect is not emphasized. And also the moral lessons, the spiritual lessons, the cultural aspect. So this is very much forgotten. You go to South India, typically, people will wear this or people will wear this and kumkum, chandan, everything is beautiful. Externally, they look like Jnana Padam, we say, correct, no? Jnana Padam is like a pious fruit. They look like that. But inside, they are Western. Outside, they look like very pious. Outside also not there, he's saying. Outside, inside, both are corrupt now. Yeah.
Prabhuji, the point I was trying to make was, scriptures give a lot of values, and as you rightly said, if we emphasize that, it becomes even better.
Inbuilt values.
Yeah.
The scriptures have inbuilt values. Embedded in the teaching. You don't have to, you don't take one quality like outside people teach quality without pastimes. And that is very dry also. Yeah. One is it is forgotten, and also it will be like a force. for the children also. And, if you tell a child, be truthful, be honest, be this, be that, it may be difficult for them. But if you tell a Ramayana pastime, Mahabharata pastime, and then actually this is where the devotee's hand or devotee's touch comes. But see, three things: education, culture, devotion. So if a devotee is having some feelings for Krishna, that feeling will come in their teaching also. Then with those feelings, then they will also be able to teach the cultural aspect, then the knowledge aspect, then the moral aspect, personal values, interpersonal values, social values, spiritual values. Everything, gets shaped depending on the teacher's emphasis. So every one of you should be Bhakti Shastra. I was telling you why, because in Bhakti Shastra you learn about this 12 aims of Shastric study. Because how the Shastra should be studied, our Gauranga Darshan is coming up with a book. He's going to publish it in Janmashtami time. It's called as Aims of Shastric Study. So the whole book is coming on that. Bulky book is coming. He's going to bring out now. Definitely we will get a copy of that and we should. So he is teaching the teachers how we should assimilate Shastra and how we should teach it. And the teaching should be done in a way, values can be brought about. So I will also do one thing, Prabhu, Nitya Prabhu. I'll give you one YouTube channel link along with one password. It is Gauranga Darshan Prabhu teaching our many Pune children. Pune children also a part of that. Plus there are children from Chowpatty congregation also. There are about probably 15-20 children. So those videos are also available. Teachers could see, and you can also see Arudha Mataji's teaching also. Arudha Mataji teaching channel. Anybody knows the YouTube channel? Arudha Mataji? You've seen that? You've seen that? No. How to teach that Bhagavatam, she's also. That's another thing I feel. She actually teaches the style itself. She teaches the style, how the teacher should teach it. I think I have to just check. I got the channel link, I think somebody sent me. Okay, I'll try to get that. It may be there in the... see here. Arudha Mataji, how to teach Bhagavatam to children, So if you go to this channel, has been deleted now, they're saying. It was there, I think we should have downloaded, I think. Because earlier it was available in this. I think this also, because now she has brought out book, I don't know whether these are all available, see? Huh? Yeah, correct. But she has some very nice training, which we all can learn actually. I don't know whether you get it very easily in this. It is there. So this is one thing which you can see. Bhagavatam training she is giving, chapter 3. Actually, these may not be directly relevant to all of you, but if you see this, she is one of the very great teachers of our ISKCON society. Correct, no? She brought up her son Radhika Valla Prabhu very nicely. So she has put many. See, plenty of. I saw 3-4 of them. I saw very nice. Matajis can see this, I think. You just put Arudha Devidasi in the YouTube channel. You'll get. So it began from here. So I liked her books also very much. She actually teaches us how to ask questions to children. You know that yellow color book, big size, Bhagavatam. Any of you have seen that? You've seen that? Arudha Mata's book. This much big size. You use it also? Who uses it? You use it? Use it, yeah, correct. Mataji, you all know that? She has it also, yeah, correct. Very good. Also, Urmila Mataji also has something for the children. Actually, what I'm telling you all, in your own homes, little, if you take in as teachers, you will be more effective for a period of time. How these great souls are implanting values into children. They are also teaching children, we can learn from them. Yeah. But Arudha Mataji's emphasis was this, which I made today. And she is telling that if you narrate pastimes of Bhagavatam alone, without emphasizing, like Hiranyakashipu pastime, here Prahlad Maharaj, Narasimha coming, children will know the pastime. But you have to teach the children what do we learn from Prahlad. So she is teaching us how to ask questions to them. When you ask questions, then they may begin to learn, and then they may think, oh, I said it, so I also have to do it now. They will do it. Okay, anything else? What do you want to say? Because I see that nowadays our society has become big, and many good devotees are preaching to children now all across the globe. So these are some I know. There is one devotee called Prana Prabhu. I am not able to get any materials now. He is also very, very, children materials he makes very nice. So although our life is busy, little time you give every day, half an hour, 1 hour for this kind of learning from teachers, it will be helpful for you. Yes, Prabhu.
So we'd like to thank His Grace Radheshyam Prabhuji for wonderfully explaining us the important values and the principles for children training. And he wonderfully explained about the emphasis on the values which we can take from pastimes and stories we are teaching to the children, especially how to align with the mission and vision of Srila Prabhupada from different pastimes and stories from our Vedic books. So that was really wonderful guidance to all of us.